the USDA. It's a federal agency within the USDA. And we're here today at Jim and Ramona Pruitt's farm, and we want to showcase what they're doing. I want to take a few moments to speak in regards to a program that Jim participated with our agency. And the program allowed us to help Jim purchase a high tunnel, which we're going to be touring here in a few minutes. And I just briefly want to take a minute to explain how the program works. In order for Jim to be eligible, he had to have existing crop ground, and that could be garden area or it could be hayland. And that area was the area that was eligible for the high tunnel to be placed. In addition to that, there is a limit as to how big we could go with the size of the high tunnel. And in this case, the limit was 2,178 square feet, which is just right around 200 square meters. After Jim made the application, we go through a process of ranking and scoring his application, and then he actually is competing against other farmers who have also made an application, and we look at the scores and the ranking, and the funding is awarded to those that rank the highest and that have the highest score. And in this case, Jim was awarded the program, and the requirements for him were to buy the high tunnel from a manufacturer. It's a pre-existing kit, so it's something that we know is going to be sturdy enough for the program, and has to be assembled under the directions that the manufacturer gives. And then once Jim has it assembled and we come out and approve it, then we provide a payment to him for doing the program. And the payment in this case was $2.57 per square foot, up to that maximum size of 2,178 square feet. After it is certified and we pay Jim, then all we ask is that Jim, for the next 2 years, fills out a diary of sorts that explains what he's growing out here, how the high tunnel has positively affected his fertility, his yield, and how it's extended the growing season. And that is one of the main purposes of the high tunnel, is to enable him to put crops in at least a month earlier than what he normally would in our climate, and to allow them to grow for at least another month later in the season than what he normally would in our climate. And so Jim, if you'll come forward, I'd like to introduce to you Jim Pruitt. He's the landowner, and he's going to describe to you his high tunnel program and how he goes about growing and distributing his crops to his clients and his customers. Jim?
Thank you, Mark. Like I said, my name is Jim Pruitt, and my wife is Ramona, is right back here. And we have Kaylee and Dalton over there. That is our workforce. That is basically it. And we do a CSA program. Basically, a CSA program is community supported agriculture, and we advertise on several websites. We get most of our customers from the websites and word of mouth, and they join up over the winter. We charge by the side. We have 2 different sizes. People join up and they pay in advance, and we usually fill up with our program in March. So I know ahead of time how many people I have, how much seed I need to buy, all that stuff is taken care of before the season starts. And as we get started, we start planting things. Mark said a month early. It's even a little bit earlier than that in the high tunnel. We plant tomato plants and things in there early March. And as we start getting everything ready out there, we decide when we're going to make our first deliveries, usually about the 3rd week of May. and we guarantee these people 20 weeks of delivery. So we have a few people that pick up here that live close. Most of them I deliver. All these coolers behind you, I fill those up and haul them out every Saturday. And we are approximately halfway through the season right now. We're going through a drought right now, so that's why you don't see a whole lot planted in the fields. We're in between crops. All our other crops we just finished up, and the new ones are getting ready to plant. So for the next few weeks, we'll be picking mostly out of the high tunnel and potatoes and things like that that we have stored up. I'm sure we'll be taking a walk out to the high tunnel and some of the equipment we have out there. We do depend a lot on tractors, especially for planting and cultivating, keeping things cleaned up around here mostly. But we do a lot of hand weeding, picking. That takes a lot of our time too. Usually we have a walk-in cooler back there, and we start picking usually on Wednesday. Some things we can do Wednesday. The tender crops we start picking Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday morning we load the coolers and haul them out. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me anytime. We have brochures here that have our email address and websites, so everybody's welcome to that. Some pictures of things, what they looked like earlier in the season are on the table here. And if we'd like to take a walk out and look around, we can do that.
Before you do that, can you talk to them about your integrated pest management and also the organic versus, what you're doing?
Okay. We are not certified organic, but we use natural practices here. Rarely do we ever use any chemical. We use fish and seaweed fertilizer, and we use BT for worms, which is organic approved, and a lot of hand work. The high tunnel comes in really handy with that because you have kind of some control over what's in there. Right now we have a few worms, hornworms on the tomatoes, and you can control them because you can find them and get them all. Integrated pest management, I kind of call that common sense. We just don't go out and spray things just because we have one small problem. We first check and see if it's worth taking care of. Some things we sacrifice. Brussels sprouts are a crop that I rarely get to harvest because the bugs eat them up, but they leave other things alone while they're doing it. That's the integrated pest management is mostly just common sense. We have you'll see some sticky cards that are hanging in the high tunnel. That's so we know what kind of insects are in there. We know what we have to deal with. Is there anything else? Oh, we do with the CSA, we do have a newsletter that my oldest son prints out. And what we do with that, I give him a list every week, usually on Thursday, what we're going to be picking. And then he makes the newsletter up with recipes to go along with those things and any notes from the farm, news out here, and that all gets emailed to him on Friday night, so we know what to expect.
And I just want to say something. The cookie that I am going to be serving to you all today is in the newsletter. My son had put the cookie. It's a cinnamon basil cookie, and I raised the herbs myself, so I would like for you all to have some cookies, and we've got drinks here, so we would love to share with you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Jim's got the two students over here that work for him actually go to the high school that you guys will be visiting, and they belong to the Future Farmers of America and also go through the agriculture department. So you guys want to share, since you're not going to be over there, what benefits you're getting from that?
Well, we do a lot of stuff. Like, there's certain classes you can take, like what you want to learn about. There's like last year I took communications class and public speaking, so we worked a lot on that. I was telling Jim earlier this morning how Mr. Calvin, who's going to be speaking to you later, would walk into class and he'd hand us a card with the topic on it, and he'd give us 5 minutes to prepare, and then we would have to give a 5-minute speech about whatever he gave us.